What's up guys, welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be starting on the air suspension install on the S13. I do want to do the management today, so we'll kind of figure that stuff out, but I do believe the battery is dead because I haven't even started the car in like well over a month. So let's go ahead and see if the battery is dead right now, and if it is, I can put it on the charger while we go ahead and plan the rest of the day out. Alright, so without further ado, let's get on with this video. I've been neglecting this car so much. This car literally hasn't moved, hasn't started in a minute. You can see how dusty this car is. Let me go ahead and see if I have the trunk locked. Yeah. Nothing even comes up on the dash, no lights, no nothing. Oh. The battery wasn't even on. The car is still dead, so let's go ahead and take the battery out and put it on the charger. Let's just take this off. This is tight. This battery is probably old. I'm gonna see if it's gonna charge, and then if it doesn't, we'll just go ahead and swap it out. We'll take it to the store and get a new one. So it looks like it's gonna charge. I'm gonna give it some time on the charger. Let's go ahead and plan out what we're gonna do. The first thing I wanna figure out is where I'm gonna mount the tank and the management. Ideally, I wanna put it up against the back seat, but that means I'm gonna have to move the battery box. I guess this is the perfect time since I don't have the battery in the car right now. So let's go ahead and adjust the position and see where we're gonna put this tank. So this is what the back of the car looks like. As you can see, I have the battery box pretty much up against the seat. Ideally, I do want to put the tank like right here. Let me see if I can get it to fit. Hold on. I don't know guys, what do you think? It'll fit like just perfect enough. So I have this board that has the Airlift from Chris that we bought in the previous video. I'm gonna see if I could just reuse this board right here. I'm gonna cut it down to shape, but first I need to make sure like the length and stuff that I need. So I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of just lay this in here. So if I just come from this point straight down, and even that point right there, and just come straight down, I should be able to slide this thing straight in there. So I'm gonna try to do that right now. So I got my straight edge. I'm just gonna go ahead and mark this right quick. All right, so I just cut the board. Let's go see if it fits. It fits perfectly in between the two strut towers. So I'm thinking about having the tank like this with the compressor and the brain for the air management towards the seat to hide the wires and stuff. What do you guys think? Does this look good? Or should I flip it around? This looks actually pretty good too. So I think I made my decision, guys. I'm gonna run it like this. The reason being was because I thought that I had to run the compressor line down here, but it's the same thread pattern up top, or the same size port up top. So I'm gonna go ahead and just tighten that down in there. And as you can see, the line wraps perfectly around like that. And I think it's gonna work, guys. So all I have to do is pretty much clean on this little section up right here. Probably just find the radius of this and cut that out. And I don't know if I wanna wrap this in carpet or something, or just leave it. The back of the trunk is painted like this silver color, which matches the top of this board right here. So I don't know. We'll see. This is not a show car again. This is gonna be a drift car, so it's not too critical on what I do. So let me go ahead and get my thoughts together, and I'll get right back to you guys. Okay guys, so I actually did some thinking, and I actually went ahead and cut the board already. As you can see, the cut actually looks really good. I'm gonna go ahead and mount this just like this, I think. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the tank ready and prepped, and then I have to bench test everything. So let's go ahead and take this out of the car, finalize the board, and then we can put everything back together. Okay guys, so I've been working on the board for a little bit right now. As you guys can see, it's starting to get dark, so I got my headlight on just in case I need to use it. But for the meantime, let me just show you guys exactly what I did so far. So I'm actually going to be using the old board, as you guys been seeing. So I'm using the old compressor as well as one of the newer compressors. These will work fine, so I'm going to go ahead and wire up a second compressor and just tie it into the harness for this management. So originally I was gonna go ahead and use the brand new management that I had purchased, but we're gonna go ahead and use the old one for now, just because I want to make sure everything runs cherry as far as the car goes. And also I might want to save that management for a new project that we'll be beginning later on in the future. But yeah, I might save that for a future project. But in the meantime, we're gonna go ahead and set this up. So like I said, we got the V2 management, which is the older Airlift management, but still really good. The new compressor, the old compressor, we got the tank. So I got my 90-degree with a port for some airline, so that way we can fill up air at the track and stuff. Compressor, and then I just have like a plug for this port right here. So as I mentioned before, I'm gonna go ahead and bench test this, and the way that I'm gonna do it is that I have a Schrader valve on the drain line that I'm just gonna fill with air. I also recommend that everybody run a Schrader valve, especially on the drain line, so that way in case the compressors fail for any reason, you can always just go ahead and use your regular tire inflator to fill up your tank just to get your car back up in the air. So we're gonna go ahead and fill air in the tank right now manually with my compressor, so that way we can bench test and see if there's any leaks before we shove this in the car. Alright guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and fill this tank up. Like I said, I have my Schrader valve going to my drain port on the tank. Let's see. Alright, we got about 50 psi in the tank. So pretty much you're just gonna want to spray down all your ports just like that. All the connections you want to spray down. So we're able to get the tank pretty good on the first try, so I don't see no leaks. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and try to install this in the car and then run the air lines. It is dark outside though, so we'll see if we can see anything. If not, I'll have to wait till morning so I can show you guys. Good morning guys. So it is actually a new day. As you guys seen in the last clip, we kind of finished when it was kind of too dark, so it wouldn't look really good on the film. So we went ahead and called it a night, and I actually was in the garage for a little bit longer. I was redoing the harness, adding the second compressor hookup to the harness. So as you guys can see, I have two relays now up on here. I went ahead and just rewired it and put it up on the loom so it's all nice and clean. So today we're gonna be installing that. That's pretty much the last thing to get it going. Like I said, there's only about 3 connections that you need to make, which is your power, your ground, and your ignition / accessory wire, so that way the car knows, or the management knows, when to turn on with the ignition. So other than that, let's go ahead and plug everything in right now. It's super simple. Let me give you guys one more look at how the setup looks in the back of the car. So again, this is what the setup looks like. It's a pretty basic setup, but you know, it's clean enough so that way everything should be tucked away nicely. Like I said, I did cut out the board so that way we do have the spare chunk tire. Not that I'm going to put anything back here, but it just looks cleaner than just having the board straight across there. So again, I'm not too sure if I'm going to wrap this board or just leave it as is. Like I said, it is a drift car, so I'm not too worried about how it looks as long as it's nice and clean, which I think it's a pretty clean setup. So we're going to go ahead and plug in the wiring right now and get everything set up and going. So my plan is to tuck all the wiring behind the tank and just have the main plug coming to this block right here underneath, and then yeah, just to keep everything hidden and nice. And then I'll have the power wire coming around here to where the battery tray is going to be. Now I'm probably going to mount it right here, right next to the fuel pump. Reason being was because I did have it mounted there, but obviously there's no space for that right now, and this side is just way too far from everything else, because as you can see, the previous owner wired up the fuel pump in here. So I'm probably gonna mount it like this. I was gonna try and see if I could stick it sideways, but I think this will do, because I don't want it to cover this in case I do need to service the actual fuel pump itself. So I'm in the back seat. I'm gonna go ahead and drop this back seat down so that way we can go ahead and get behind the tank just like that. You know, I was thinking about taking the interior out because look at all this space back here. You know, you could put so many tires, tools, parts and stuff. But I actually traded the car so that I don't need to have all the parts and stuff just shoved in here. You know, I could throw it into the truck. So I'm gonna leave the interior in here. Plus, I feel like it's a flex to have interior in your drift car, especially nowadays when in the world of 240s and drift cars, everybody just strips everything. You know, it just looks so much cleaner with interior. So we're gonna go ahead and start putting the wiring right here on the board behind the tank, and then cover it back up with the seat. So we have this like 50 feet of just this pink wire, so that way I can run it to the front for some type of accessory wire. All right, everybody, so I got the fitting on. So now I do have an inlet to the manifold from the tank. I also put the battery back on. I got everything hooked up. I'm gonna go ahead and see if the car will start and this will run. Nothing. Let me go ahead and put the jumper on and see if it'll start. So we're gonna go ahead and test out the suspension right now. So I have everything plugged in. We're gonna go ahead and turn the ignition on and see if this comes on. I do have the battery in the car on a jump pack because unfortunately the battery is completely dead. It won't hold charge. The battery pack said it did hold charge, but unfortunately when I put it in the vehicle, my car won't, it doesn't even turn on. So that battery is completely dead, but it should be enough on the jump pack just to get this thing to turn on. So we're gonna go ahead and turn ignition on right now. All right, guys, let's see. So it came on. Sorry, the car is really loud, but it comes on. I got the compressor and everything to turn on, so it's running right now. It's filling up. We got 100 PSI. If you can hear. Okay guys, so that wasn't the best example, but everything does work on the car. I'm gonna go ahead and get a new battery so that way we can go ahead and properly calibrate the whole system. In the next episode, we will be installing the air struts by FittedVisions. So I hope you guys are excited about that. We're gonna get this car laid out on the floor. Just like always, guys, thank you guys so much for support. If you guys wanna go ahead and cop some merch, head over to carshopbloom.com. And we'll catch you guys in the next one, all right? Peace out and stay good.